Dear viewers, welcome back to Sip and Chat. My name is Atim Sijen, and as I said earlier, today with me is Joel Dow. Joel is the HR specialist, and we're going to be discussing about the influence of the region on South Sudan labor market. So, Joel, welcome to Sip and Chat.
Thank you, Atim.
So, it has been a little bit challenging with the connection, but at least now we are here.
Yeah,
so, tell us who is Joel Dow briefly.
Finally.
Yeah.
Hi, viewers. I'm Joel Dow. I'm a HR specialist in this market. I can't say I have 10 years experience. I'll be lying because South Sudan is probably 10 years. But I'm good in what I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is interesting. So, Joel, now we're going to be discussing about the influence of the region on our South Sudan's labor market.
Oh, yeah.
And this has been kind of a sensitive conversation that has been happening. We always say that there's an influence in our market, South Sudan, and especially in terms of labor.
Yeah.
And that's your area of profession. So, tell us briefly, how do you define labor market and influence? How do you define these two things before we dive in?
Okay. Basically, to say labor market is just the employment opportunities and the availability of the willing forces to work.
Okay.
You see, the availability of the human factor. If you put these two together, it's the labor market.
Okay.
And the influence is basically how the region is shaping our labor market.
Okay, that is interesting.
Being that we do not have our own systems. Every system we are setting up right now is either we are borrowing it or we are buying it full. Other countries establish their system from zero level, from the grassroots, and they build them. Basically, as we don't seem to be establishing ours from the grassroots, because someone is coming with the way he knows how to teach mathematics from Khartoum and you want to teach it the same way. I know how to build a house from Kenya and I want to come and build the house the same way. So we are just trying to import everything.
So including labor, we're importing labor.
Including the soft skills, yes.
Okay, that is quite interesting. Sure, someone of my profession, I will not know more about labor market and all that, but the way you have broke it down, it's quite interesting in a simple layman's language. So briefly tell us, how does the influence of the region affect our market in South Sudan?
Okay, this is just like I've said the other time to the previous listeners. This is a very wide topic, and with the time we have, we might not be able to exhaust everything.
Yes.
But the influence are so many. I'll just touch into the major factors. Let's talk of let's start from the youth level. Yeah. The issue is by the time we get done with high school, we have already chosen our role models. So maybe your role model is a politician in Nairobi, William Ruto, or say whoever it is. So by the time you're completing, you want to do political science and then go into politics and all that.
Yeah.
And coming to South Sudan with the political science, you will be forced, definitely, I'm not telling you this, you already know this, you will be forced to change career.
Yes.
Because where will you get employment? Say a career like law. And let me tell you for a fact, if there is a career with the least paying jobs in South Sudan, it's law.
Okay, why is that?
As of now, this clerk and this support to the lawyers are still being paid as much as 20,000, 30,000.
South Sudanese pounds.
South Sudanese pound. And practicing lawyers are still being paid less than $200 in some cases. There are some firms that are doing really well.
Yes.
But there are those ones that are doing really badly.
Okay.
You see? So careers like laws, even an MP in South Sudan, I don't know how much is paid.
I think it's not much money. Anyway, I don't know, but it's not
That's
much
good.
money.
That's good. Just to let you know the law thing, because he's the one that is making law. These other ones are defending. If he's not paid much, that means these other ones must not be paid.
Wow.
So from there, we get our labor market shaped by what we see in other countries.
Yes.
We see someone becoming a billionaire, a millionaire by practicing just law. And then we say we want to be lawyers.
Okay.
Such way, it has shaped our market in a way. Most of our youth have studied so many courses that do not help them.
Yeah.
Just like the causes I've mentioned to you. The other way the region has influenced our market is the influx of the expatriate. You see, let me start with the sector that we have tried our best to try and grow into.
Yeah.
Let me say the accounting sector and the communication industry.
Yeah.
We still get foreigners to get jobs in that sector.
Yes.
This is to say they come in with 10 years work experience, 5 years work experience, and the employer find they are in a better position
Yes.
to do the job than the South Sudanese.
Yes.
You cannot say a South Sudanese that was born, South Sudan is mostly 70% youth.
Yeah.
And a youth should be someone born between 1970
yeah.
and now. Probably, if we were to be fair, if we were not to be fair, it should be from 1980 to now. And you see, these people mostly grew up in places, not necessarily South Sudan, and chances of them gaining experience are very minimal.
Okay.
So if someone say, I have 25 work experience, we could ask him, where did you get it from?
How about those who worked outside South Sudan before independence?
The few of them, mostly the Sudanese, mostly those who worked in Sudan, are still struggling in a way. Sudan was Arabic speaking country.
Yes.
And South Sudan is an English speaking country, which is giving them hard time trying to integrate themselves into this market.
Okay.
And some of them are in senior management position in the companies that has their roots in Sudan.
Yeah.
But in most cases, you don't find them in a very senior position in companies with their roots in Kenya and Uganda and the other part of the world.
Okay.
There are very few. Yes.
So it's good to mention these factors, Joel, and I'm really impressed that you're trying to figure out what could be the influence in our market, and how does the region influence our market. So what is the role of the government to improve this? Because at some point we need to safeguard our market, because we have a high percentage of youth that will end up jobless because of the market situation and the influence. What do you think is the role of the government to make sure this is fixed?
Basically, it shouldn't be the role of the government solely as such. But the biggest role of the government is the implementation of the labor law.
Exactly.
The labor law describes precisely where we should go, where we are right now.
What do the labor law say?
Heading. And I'll talk about the employment of the expatriates. And the employment of expatriate or the employment of foreigners basically state when there is no a qualified person for the job in South Sudan, you will have to write to the Ministry of Labor, and they will try to source for that position.
Yes.
If they confirm there is no one in the market for that position, then now they will allow you to bring such person from outside South Sudan.
Okay, is that happening?
But you see now, it's way too different. It's way too different. You find these people have already come here. They are being employed at local terms.
Okay.
You see,
and the internationals?
Instead of them, most of them are being employed on local terms. I'll not talk about these South Sudanese at the border. I'll talk about those South Sudanese without any tribe at the border of South Sudan. Look at a Kenyan getting employment here. Look at a Ugandan getting employment here at the local terms. Perhaps maybe somehow they have acquired South Sudan nationality, or somehow maybe they have acquired some expatriate status through a way they might know. And it's very easy for them or for the employers to go to the Ministry of Labor, apply for a work permit or apply for a resident permit,
and they get it,
and then they work freely.
Okay, just to let our viewers know, we're not against the influence of the market. We're not against the importing of labor from outside.
Yes.
But we need to make sure at least all the South Sudanese youth. I'm very sure that some South Sudanese who have done HR and other professions, but they still don't have jobs. And you find that the same people who have the same kind of experience and knowledge from outside the other countries are getting jobs here. So sometimes it's not about experience, but it's about how we safeguard our policies as the country.
Sure.
So I think, in my own opinion, I think the government should at least safeguard the interests of the youth in this country.
Absolutely.
I've been to Kenya, and you have been to Kenya and Uganda.
Yes.
We see how government in these countries make sure at least the youth are employed, especially those who have gone to school and they have papers. In South Sudan, I don't think it's the case. Despite the fact we want to blame the foreign, labor, but our government is not also, stepping up to the occasion.
The government has put in place the tools. They have put in place the law that should have protected the market.
Yeah.
In 2018, there was a circular passed that every company employing foreigners should be at 30%
Yes.
balance. You see, but no one has followed up on that circular. Are they being 30%? Are we following that? You see, for everything that they have said throughout the launching of that labor law, no one has tried to follow it up since 2017. There was a time they were collecting data in 2017, 2019, 2018, 2019, they were collecting data from various institutions, and then they were saying after that data they will now try and do the analysis, and then they see how are these people getting their getting their work permit and all the legal paperwork. But after we provided the data, no one came back to ask and say, okay, bring this guy's CV.
So there was nothing after that.
Let's see. How did you employ this person? These are the criteria you say. These are the qualifications this person have. What is unique here? You see. So no one came back following on that thing.
Yeah.
Up to now. In 2020, we thought we were so optimistic someone will come following up on that.
Yeah.
But it has not been implemented. If you may look at this, if you go to an Ethiopian restaurant right now, you will find 20% or 30% of the waitress are from Ethiopia or Eritrea. And if you go to a Kenyan restaurant, you will learn the same. Same to these international and big hotels like Pyramid and all that. You find only the guy that opened for you the door is a South Sudanese, plus some few others doing petty things inside there. But there are 20, 30 foreigners there, including the marketing officer and all that.
Yeah.
You see?
And it's a job that South Sudanese can do, by the way.
Absolutely.
Okay, Joel, this is quite interesting. And as I said earlier, we're not against anything, but we just want to let people know how this thing works and what is the influence of the region in our market, our labor market in South Sudan. So let's leave the employment part of it. Let's come to business part of it. Because I'm also very sure if you go to Kanakoda market right now, it's rare to see South Sudanese selling things. And these macroeconomic businesses that are being occupied, by foreigners, how does it affect our economy? And what do you say about that?
What I would say, first of all, is the South Sudan, us, the youth, we have a mentality of entitlement.
Yeah.
I'm entitled to good life. And sometimes I feel like I'm entitled to share whatever you have. You see? That is one part of that is one thing the region has refused to change from us, the South Sudanese. Whatever your brother has is partly yours. You see? That is why you see now the regions come in, open their queues, and they operate there, starting maybe getting 20 pounds or 50 pounds a day, to the point he will open a second shop and the third shop and open a bar and he goes.
And when you open a new place,
they
will invite or bring in their order from their countries.
Absolutely.
So you see, they create employment to their own people back home.
Their own people. You see? So if you see how these people are coming in, they come in step by step, and
Yeah.
then they end up doing big things.
Yes.
They start with nothing and they end up accomplishing a lot.
Yeah.
And our people do not want to
Wow.
get that. They cannot get that the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
You might find maybe all over Juba, there's only one South Sudanese or 10 South Sudanese that are making chapati around Juba.
Mm-hmm.
But how many Ugandans, how many Kenyans
are doing the same.
that? You see, they go as far as becoming cooks in the hotel, but they have an idea where they're heading to.
Exactly.
You see, but we cannot blame them. How many South Sudanese men could be great chefs out here? They're not there.
They're not there.
I don't know. I've not met one that said I'm a professional chef.
Mm-hmm.
I've not met one.
Me too.
So that is also a challenge. We cannot say these foreigners cannot operate here. Then we'll not have some other service.
Yeah.
But then again, if you see, South Sudanese are trying to wake up. Between last year and this year, South Sudanese have tried as much as possible to wake up. Right now, I'm sure there is a guy in Shirkat that does chapati.
Yes.
There
South
is a
Sudanese
guy-
doing
South
chapati.
Sudanese in Shirkat.
Yes. Which was not the case
5
5 years ago.
5 years ago, there could have been 20, 30 songs about that guy. Yeah?
But right now it's not the case.
But right now it's not the case. We are
Exactly.
happy the market is changing a bit. And you see, once they start doing that and they reduce the level of dependency, you'll see more people getting independent and all that.
Definitely.
And probably we would only want the foreigners for employment,
Yeah.
just like in Dubai.
Yeah, and just to take note of this, in other countries that are developing, you have to import foreign labor, but you have to make sure at least people learn from those expatriates you're bringing on board. So at least by the time they go back, your own people are able to take up. The challenge we had, we bring in foreign, human resource. We don't learn from them, so they'll keep doing the jobs because there's no one who can do it when they're gone. So now that there are some changes, you see people are doing chapati and all that. I think it's a good step forward. But also we need to put up a lot of effort to make sure this is taken care of, because at some point, as South Sudanese, we will need to make sure we step up and we close the gap of unemployment in South Sudan.
You see, the issue, we might say that our people are not learning, but there are no evidence that these people are trying honestly with an open heart or in good faith to transfer the knowledge, try and teach someone.
Okay.
We cannot say a manager came, a finance manager came from Kenya
And train someone.
and trained someone, get that person promoted to be the finance manager, and he goes back.
Yeah.
There are no people with such a good faith in this market. Most of them comes, show you very little,
Yeah.
that you can survive in the market.
So that you can keep looking for them.
Yeah, but they are not giving you everything.
Okay.
So by the time the 5 years finish, the company will be in dilemma. You see, he will do his appraisal, rate you fair, and then from there, the company is in dilemma and be like, you see, this guy is still scoring fair, and he's an accountant. If we make him now probably an assistant manager or a senior finance accountant, then he might not operate properly. So,
So that means you need to also be there.
let's extend this guy's contract for another 3 years to develop him.
Okay.
Comes the 3 years, you are still where you are.
And that has been the case since independence until
And that
now.
has been the case. But thank God the market is doing well. You see, in 2015, 2016, where I was working, a plumber was a Ugandan in 2016. But right now, most of the plumbers I contract are South Sudanese.
Okay. That's a serious
Say
improvement.
At least,
by the way.
at least say 60% of them are South Sudanese.
It's a good number.
Yes. So we are not just sitting back and watching things go, but we are trying to catch up and fix ourselves somewhere.
Okay. Joel, do you think that, nowadays we have so many vocational trainings sponsored by you, and like UNDP is doing some vocational trainings for our youth in Juba and also in Bor, and I know in other places around the country. And also we have Don Bosco in Shirkat, which is, empowering a lot of youth. I went to Shirkat some few weeks ago and I found some young people doing electricity and trained by the vocational center at Don Bosco. So do you think these vocational trainings that are set up across the country could also improve the job market and also make us more competitive when it comes to the works that we're not doing right now?
You see, the issue is the level of people or the number of people that are willing to enroll for such service against the general population that is unemployed or the general population that does not have skills. You might find one of the 10 youth is in vocational training center, and almost all of them do not have the necessary skills for a formal employment.
Yeah.
You see? So in such situations, you find the vocational training centers are not effective.
Yeah.
See, the other thing is their capacity. Their capacity to reach people at far end areas.
Yeah.
You see, how can a vocational training center reach someone in Duke? How can a vocational training center reach someone in Fanagor? How can they reach someone in Pangak? You see, so they do not have those
The capacity to
mechanisms.
reach further.
Yes,
Beyond
and
the concentrated national.
yes, and they don't have policies in place. If they have policies to go and recruit these people, come accommodate them in your premises and train them, it was going to be better. It doesn't necessarily mean you have a center, a training center there.
Yeah.
You just need a policy to help you do that.
Okay.
But all that they are looking for is empowering a youth in Juba, empowering a youth in Bor, empowering a youth in these major cities.
Yeah.
But they are not looking beyond that. And let me tell you, the number of people in those places I've just mentioned that are willing to work, they can even work day and night, yeah, just to make something for their retirement is huge.
So they just need services taken to them?
Yes, they just need
and
us
trainings,
reaching out to them and all
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So I want to ask this question. You know, we say that the economy depends on well-functioning public and private institutions.
Sure.
It also depends on well-developed basic infrastructure.
Yeah.
It also depends on stable macroeconomics framework, and also it depends on healthy and literate labor force. Do you agree with all these things?
Probably to some extent. Labor force is something that is so flexible always. Yeah. You might find. I went to school to study maybe double mathematics.
Yeah.
I came get a job as a what? Say a procurement officer.
Something different.
Am I literate? I'm literate, right?
Yes.
But I'm literate and I'm not putting whatever I brought from school
Into
to
practice.
full function. You see? So we are going to converge at one point. All of us are educated, but we are fighting for one thing in one corner. That means there is the other part of the market that no one is tapping.
Okay.
Let me tell you one thing. Insurance industry in South Sudan, I only know of 2 professional underwriters. Only 2.
South Sudanese.
2 South Sudanese. One of them is at UAP and one is in New Sudan.
Only 2.
Only 2. And let me tell you, there are almost 58 insurance companies in South Sudan.
So there's a huge gap.
And the heart of those companies is an underwriter. Yeah? This is the person that assess the risk and underwrite the risk. But they're not there. And these companies are operating with the hope one day a South Sudanese underwriter will come up and take over the market.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are all at a position where we are fighting for an accounting job, banking and finance, but there are those industries that side that no one is touching.
Okay. You mentioned a good point earlier that there are some South Sudanese in East Africa, and their mentors are people like William Ruto.
Yeah.
And so you study in an environment where you want to do something based on the inspiration you had in that area.
Sure.
But that cannot translate back home here.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I might be in Uganda and I fall in love with maybe being a doctor.
Yes.
But how many good doctors are in South Sudan that can, you know, accommodate me and pay me well.
Yes.
So there are this kind of misplaced, priorities because of where you grew up from and the influence of the environment. So now, if someone is to study, someone want to go to university, and he or she comes to you for advice, how will you advise that person on career guidance, on career development?
It depends. It depends with the priorities of the person. For instance, if my son going to school, his priorities are different than mine when I was going to school.
Yes.
You see? For me, I need something that will get me employed and at least try and fit myself and fit someone else. But for that generation that is coming, that is going to school now, it depends with your family background. If you are from a very poor background and you want to come back and help these people quickly to rise, go do something you will get employment immediately and a career that will help you grow.
Okay.
Yes. I'll advise people to do business courses more other than doing these humanitarian courses. Because if you do DBA accounting option, you can still come back and be a program officer. You know that, right? And
it's happening here nowadays, man.
Yes. And if you also do BCom accounting option, you can still come back and be a program officer. And sideways, you try to practice some accounting thought of things that do not, so that you don't run out of that knowledge.
Yeah.
By the time we run out of the NGOs and there are no funding, there are no donors funding, you are still an accountant.
Yeah.
So you have a profession to follow. By the way, let me tell you, there is no labor market that depends on the public sector a lot, other than private sector.
Okay.
So I believe personally, one day, one time, these NGO jobs will diminish.
Yes.
And the private sector will be the most preferable employing sector. Because the private sector look at you as an asset.
Yeah.
NGO look at you as someone helping the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more humanitarian.
Yeah,
it's not business oriented.
humanitarian,
It's
yeah.
not
So
business.
if you say I'm not able to pay my bill with this, we say we are helping the community, man. We don't complain.
Yeah.
We are all helping the community.
Yeah.
But the private sector will say, you are paying me from the money we are making together.
Yeah. And when I make more money, I'm supposed to be paid well.
Yeah. And when you make more money, you get bonus.
Yeah. So it's a competitive kind of setting where you have to be paid based on what you do.
Absolutely. And I don't know if an NGO would ever pay bonuses.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I work with NGO, but I don't.
However much they have been funded, I don't know if they will ever pay bonus.
No. Not in any case.
Not in any case.
Yeah.
So that is why the future lies in the private sector. However much we try as much as possible to fight for these NGO jobs and all that,
It's temporary.
the future is in the private
sector. Yeah.
And the smartest of all these people, you see them going back to school and do something related to the private sector.
Hoping that one day this NGO thing will not be the case.
Will not be
so
the
you have
case.
to look for other.
Absolutely, just like musician. Musician, in most cases, you find them singing, making money from singing, but they go to
have
do
careers.
something
To earn a living and also to support that music.
Sure. To have a small backup plan in case this one goes bad. There is where to fall back.
Exactly.
So if we have, if the generation is so smart, there are some of these people going back to school and they are trying to get a backup plan in case this one. Also, there is no progress in the program officer. Where do you go after that?
Unless you go and start your own organization.
Study your organization.
Yeah.
But from a program officer, you cannot become a country director.
I don't think so. Unless in rare cases.
Because
that comes after a long period of experience and too much.
Yeah. And that also need a certain line of crew.
Yeah.
Certain line of crew. That position will always be taken by
internationals. Always. Most cases. All right, Joel, thank you so much for this insight in terms of
okay.
the influence of the region in our market.
Sure.
So what could be your advice to people who want to start businesses? Because at some point we also encourage our youth to venture into businesses. Because we say there's money on the street. Money is not only in the office. So and most of them are doing good. If you go to Konyakana, you find that most of these money transfer businesses are our young people. What would be your advice to somebody who want to venture into business in the market?
My advice would be start it as small as possible, as long as you have a vision, something you want to achieve.
Yes.
Start it as small as it is, but focus on the greater vision. Do not try and use the shortcut.
Okay.
Sometimes they could be beneficiary on the short term, but in the long run they are not sustainable sometimes.
Okay.
So it's good
You
sometimes
have to follow the
start-
procedures.
Yeah. It's good sometimes to struggle, suffer, work hard,
And achieve.
Even if you are growing all without enjoying the fruit of what you are working for, then basically all that we are doing is for us to be remembered by someone.
Definitely.
As so and so. So your kids might enjoy the good reputation you have, and they might enjoy the wealth you have.
Exactly. That's a good advice to young people outside.
Sure.
All right. How do this payment of dowries affect our economy? This topic might be out of this one, but I want it because it's linked to our growth as youth.
Yeah.
I've seen people who will, we're not against our culture and
Sure.
our way of marriage.
Sure.
But don't you think at some point with this high payment of dowry, it also affects us economically as youth?
A lot, man.
Sensitive
I don't
topic,
know.
but
I don't know. It's
let's
so
touch base on
sensitive.
it. Yeah.
It's so sensitive. And personally, I have a story, but I don't want to take it public.
Okay.
You know what happened? Some of us, or almost some good number of the youth, did not have an inheritance.
Yes.
So we start at a scratch, try and save, and by the time you are getting 30, 35, 36, you say,
You
oh
feel
man,
like you need a
let
family
me
now.
sacrifice.
So
You
all
have
the
saved,
savings will go.
So you get all the saving, boom. And
Then you start again from scratch.
And then the wife comes. She needs to eat, and she needs all the service. Everything that you were providing when she was your girlfriend, you have to maintain the level of.
And of course now because you have given everything out, you might not be able to
Yeah.
maintain that.
Personally, I always say, whoever designed our culture did not design it.
Money-wise.
It was wasteful.
And also it was not designed
wasteful.
on cash. It was designed on when we used to keep cattle in the village.
Yeah.
It used to be better back in the villages. Because you find that I have my cows,
Yeah.
and even marriage was not hyped like it is right now by then.
Sure.
Someone who has 10 cows back in the days would marry. Someone who has 30 cows would marry. Somebody can marry with 100 cows. It was not fixed. But now you take someone's daughter, 10 million pounds
Yes.
plus cows.
And economists will also argue that, for those who have studied economics, might relate to this, they might argue it's put so many pounds into the market. And another thing, when it puts so many pounds into the market, the demands for the Obama currency become high.
So it is not helping the economy.
So what I was going to say is, you see, the person who is marrying your daughter takes your daughter, give you the wealth. You see, this wealth, you don't even retain it.
It's taken by the family. Everyone gets
it's
its share.
actually eaten.
And it ends. So it's a lot of money that is wasted.
Yeah. So it's all wasted.
not productive.
No one benefit from it.
Yeah.
If I was to say I give my father-in-law or my brother-in-law the entire wealth, and he go build a house, build a
Even
business,
start a business, yeah.
I'll be happy.
That money will
because
still come back to the market.
I'll be happy because I'll be telling my wife and my child, can you guys first stay in that house? Let me fix something.
Or even when you're broke, you can send your wife to go and get some help.
Yeah, go and get a loan.
Yeah.
Or so.
So, but it's wasted. To be honest, it's wasted.
It's wasted, 100%. No party lives saying, yeah, I'm rich.
Yeah. They don't make anything out of it.
Yeah.
And you find that even families that married off their daughters, within a month or two, they still come back to you and they need help. So you wonder where did that money go to?
The money goes back to the market now.
Yeah. So it's not helping you, neither the family that you are married from.
Yes. No one
So do you think we need to regulate this? Is there a need for regulation?
Basically, there is no need for regulation. You see, the beauty of this culture is if you come with 5 cows, they don't kill you and say so and so had 20 cows, why do you have 5?
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of this culture. It's accommodate
Every amount.
every person.
And everything you have.
Yes.
If you have less, it accommodates. If you
Yes.
have more, it takes.
You have billions and it does not have a limit. If you have billions, it will accommodate your billion. And it will also accommodate that guy with 5 cows and 10 cows.
Mm-hmm.
You see.
Mm-hmm.
One thing right now, one thing I know for sure is right now is better than in 1995 and 1996.
Okay.
Because in 1996 things were difficult, and if you were asked those days to give out 5 cows, it was very difficult getting it.
It was like giving 5 million right now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. So right now we don't cry that much, and we hope for that. Sometimes something could happen, and you're lucky you get a good employment, and you get 1-2 contract, and boom, you're
And you
good
pay
to go.
off.
Yeah. So now it's not that bad. Yeah.
All right, that's good.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot, Chol.
thank you.
Dear
Thank you
viewers,
again
this
for
was
having
Chol
me.
Dow. Chol is a HR specialist, and he has been talking to us about the influence of the region on our labor market in South Sudan. And of course, we mentioned a lot of things about the market and how we need to improve our market, and what are the indicators that had contributed to this kind of situation we're in. So, Chol, thank you so much. Before you go, we have one thing we do here.
Yeah.
We always ask our guests, what 3 things can you say about you that no one knows outside them? 3 things that nobody knows about you. I'm your close friend, but there's some things I might not know about you.
Oh.
So what are 3 things that you can tell us that nobody knows? You feel like these things only you will know about me.
Okay. 3 things about
3
you.
things about you.
About me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Man, if it was about you, I was going to.
No, it's about you.
So, I don't know. 3 things that
Nobody
nobody
knows
knows
about
about
you.
me. Okay. I'm a HR practitioner. Nobody knew that before I come to this show. And I'm a father.
I knew that.
I knew that. I knew that.
Yeah, but some people didn't know about that, I think. Yeah, so that is good. The 3rd one, the last one.
The last one, I issue 10 disciplinary or warning letters every week.
Every week. 10 warning letters every week.
So you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
All right. That's
Is
good.
that not being so heartless?
No, it's being so disciplinary.
No, that's too much. You need to be flexible, man. Don't be serious with life. Don't be that serious
No,
with
I'm
life.
just kidding, man. I just wanted to find something you don't know.
All right, thank you so much for coming,
No, thank
Joel,
you so
and
much,
it's my
Atem.
pleasure. See you
Thank
next time.
All right.
Viewers, thank you so much for your views, and thanks for. If you have any comment, please do comment. If you want to be part of us next time, please you can text us on Messenger, and we'll send you the link, and you can join the conversation.
If you want to
Otherwise,
disagree.
if you want to disagree, as long as it's constructive, yes, as long as you respect people's opinions, we are good.
We're good to go.
Thank you
just,
so much.
Just drop in your
Your disagreements, and we'll
your
talk about it.
disagreement and a contact.
Yeah, as long as
We'll
it
pick
is
it.
not with anger,
Yeah.
as long as you're just expressing yourself in a very professional way, we are good.
We'll pick it from the bar. That's it.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Atem.
Thanks a lot, man.
All right.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
coming,
man.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.